Good morning to you, Dan. You're the first one here. I'm just going to test the lag for a second. Two. It's about 4 second lag. I hope you all are doing fine, or as fine as you can be with war. It's a very tough situation. For sure, Dan. I can't believe we still have war in this day and age. Just nuts. Hi, Matt. Welcome. Here's the current heat map for the crypto market. No surprise there. If you guys or ladies have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer them. Yep, Matt. It's red everywhere. It's not just red, but it's deep red. It's a bloodbath. I'm gonna load up the chart for BTC. And there's the chart for BTC. It went below the two support levels. The first one's right here, the channel support at 36.5, and it's broke through the support for 34.9, roughly 35, and here we are. Let me load up the heat map to share with you. Here's the heat map for Bitcoin aggregated. We have, let me get you to the current point in time. We have roughly 33.5 here. A small wall at 34. That will get crushed. 33 here. Roughly 32.5K here. 32, 31.4. Small wall at 31. And a bigger wall at roughly around 30. Around here, we're up to roughly around almost 900 now. It was like 300 or so, maybe even 200. But I think around 300 a couple days ago, maybe even a day ago. So here are the buy walls. The 33.6 one, this one, 33.5, this one will get crushed. I think we can easily go to 32. I think very likely we could go to 30. 30 will have significant resistance. Am I bidding here? I have bids below 30, 29,100. I have a bid there. I have some other ones in the mid 20s for Bitcoin. I have very low targets for Luna, Solana, and all that stuff. Doug, prediction stock market tomorrow. Hey, buddy, I'm not sure if you saw my my video today on the stock market, but yeah, it's gonna crash. It'll do more than crash. It'll crash hard. Dan said, personally looking for longs myself based on liquidity and volume profile. Okay. What alts do I bid on? Matt asks. I have I hold very small amount of coins. I have for alts. I have Luna, FTM, Solana, Matic, Atom. Did I say Luna? Yeah. About that. That's what I have. For Luna, when I was doing the video this morning, and the candle was up here, like a tiny little candle up here. By the time I finished the video, it was halfway. I was like halfway down here, and then now it's down here, 52. Even though it's dropped a lot, it's still very resilient. It's incredible what Luna has been able to do in this market, and it's pretty amazing. James, I think the Fed is backed into a really tough corner right now. They're gonna need to spend a lot more money, and so the quantitative easing, they're gonna need to, or the tapering, if you will. They're gonna need to rethink that, because anytime you have war, there's gonna be more spending. I think the rates in March, I think they're gonna take it easy. I think initially they were gonna be aggressive, but given the situation, it's one of those situations where you win, you lose if you do, and you lose if you don't. It's like which course gives you the least amount of losses, So I think it's a tough predicament they're in. Solana. Yeah, I'll show you Solana. Solana is I have bids on Solana all the way down to like, I think the 20s, I think. crazy. Let me see here. Let me load up Solana so you guys can see it. Oh, did not want to cancel that. It would take a minute to load up. Hi, Zayden. Welcome. James, historically, how long is it? We haven't, the crypto market hasn't been in like a war. So it's hard for me to say. But historically, when a war starts out, the stock market initially takes a hit, like within the first few weeks, month or so, and then it actually starts to get better. And throughout the war, the stock market, equities market, actually rises. It's just it's really odd. I mean, I can understand why, but it just, considering the situation, is just odd how market rises during such tragic events. Good morning, Julisho. Michael, I think we'll see 20s soon. I'm not sure about soon. I think definitely we're gonna need to drop down to the low 30s and see how that wall at 30K will do. Right now it's only 800, 900 in size, which is not big considering the situation. But also we gotta also consider that a lot of the sell-off took place earlier in the last couple months. So yeah, we'll see. I still have bits down in the upper 20s and mid 20s for Bitcoin. So let's shrink Solana down here and let's look at the buy levels. So Solana, we have it's some at around 70 here. 60 looks like a decent size wall. Really deep red wall here at 30. I have some here too, and some at 20. So there you go. Solana has dropped so much that it's been hanging right in this area for a bit, 80 to 90 for a while, and for it to break below here, if it breaks below 80, it'll crash pretty hard, probably past 70 down to 60, and then the way down to 30 will be a little bit tougher. But yeah, definitely 30, 20. If you're gonna bid here, I would just go slightly above it, like $1 or so. Chuliso, if one were to sell either Luna or BTC in an attempt to buy again at a lower price, which would one sell? Oh man, that's a tough one. It depends. It depends on your cost basis. If your cost basis is, like lower, you don't want to sell right now. It's got to be lower than your cost basis for you to sell. Actually, no, wait. What am I thinking? It's so late. Let's say you bought, let's see. Yeah, if your cost basis is high, it depends. I would, that's tough. I think it depends. You look at both Luna, you look at BTC, and see which one is dropping faster. I would liquidate the one that's dropping faster, and hang on to the one that's not dropping as fast. Well, James Humble, if you have 80% sitting in stables, you are well positioned. I'm not sure what your, you know, where you liquidator, et cetera, but 80% sitting in stable coins is pretty a good position to be in. And I'm not sure what kind of coins you invest in, but if you can, with 80%, I personally would go get in on the levels, the lower levels that I published for Luna, and the lower levels for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I would go in. I'll show you Bitcoin where I would go in. Bitcoin, I would get in just above this one right here. So you have, this is roughly around 33.5. I would get in right around 33.6 or so. I would layer in about 10% here of my my budget. I would layer in probably 20% or 30% here at 32, and I would go in hard right here, just above 30,000. I would go in around 30,100 or so. I would go in probably 30, maybe 40% there, and then I would leave the rest of the money for when it drops further down into this region. 29,100 would be another level that I would that I actually have positions in, and I would save the rest as far as Bitcoin is concerned to see what it'll do, because we don't know yet. How's the audio and how's the lag? Is that working out okay for you guys? Yeah, James, it's understandable. Why you're hesitant to get in, but um, I don't think we've had a major war while Bitcoin was like involved in a quote unquote superpower, if you will, with nukes. So yeah, it's you're right to be cautious, but um, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I've been waiting for a hard crash, and I believe it is this one. And I'm not sure if we'll have another hard crash after this one. More than likely, will go up depending on the macro environment. But yeah, I've been waiting for this. Not the war, obviously. I've been waiting for this crash to call the bottom, and here we are. Um, Chulisso, thanks for confirming the streaming is going good and smooth. Zayden, there's been a lot of talk about crypto winter. I know crypto winter can be tough for people. At the same time, though, it's like it's an opportunity to learn how to navigate through tough times, and you can make money during crypto winter too. It's all about being prepared and being positioned with cash, with stable coins or dry powder, and just get in the bottoms, because that's really where wealth is made. I know some people who are bullish and they're moon boys, and they hate it when I talk about Bitcoin potentially dropping. And what they don't know is I'm extremely bullish about Bitcoin. I'm extremely bullish about crypto and quality altcoins. At the same time, though, I'm about investing. I'm not gonna bet only in one direction. I'm gonna play When it goes up, I'm going to play. When it goes down, I'm going to play when it goes sideways. And if more people understood how to do that, there'll be less more directional, like either, oh, I'm a bear and I'm only going to support the bears, or I'm a bull, I'm only going to support the bull, etc. That kind of mindset doesn't really help. They're lucky that they're in crypto, because crypto is more, long-term wise, is bullish, so they're lucky. But in most other assets where, different periods, they'd be wrecked. James, you're welcome. Gilisho, how much percent of your portfolio is hodled? So I have 4 portfolios, and most of them I leave alone. But my largest portfolio, I have roughly. I'm trying to calculate. I have roughly about 50% or more in dry powder right now. I've been waiting. I've been waiting for for the crash, a real crash. This might be fun for you to see. Remember I'm not sure, some of you may have seen the Bitfinex wall that was discussed, and I showed some of the charts earlier. And here's the wall that's still there. And I'll show you what happened in the past few hours. Some people may argue that that it's not a spoof wall, but you can see it follows the price and moves out of the way. And here you can see that it's no longer hugging the price line at all. It's the way down below here. And it's a giant spoof wall that dropped out, the orange one. So yeah, when people thought that this wall was going to help move Bitcoin up, I was like, nah, it's going to drop. And it did. Putin is a very dangerous man. The reason he's very dangerous because he's got nukes, and his regime needs to end. However that ends, it needs to end, because if he gets away with Ukraine, he's gonna have more opportunities to do what Hitler did. And I'm not sure if some of you saw one of my tweet about World War II, where Hitler was given what was a part of Czechoslovakia, and to appease him, only 6 months later he attacked Poland, and that's when the European countries stepped in and said no, and that's how World War II started. Similarly with Crimea, that was Russia attacked and took that land. Actually, it's a peninsula, but they didn't do much about it. Just gave him some sanctions, and here we are. He's attacking. He's trying to take the rest of Ukraine. Yeah, that madman has to be stopped. Genesis, got any recommendation on where to learn advanced stuff like order flow, books, walls, etc.? I would start with Google. I tweeted out this part of this answer to someone on Twitter recently. Atlas, no, is it Atas, ATAS, or something like that? That company makes a tool that is really good for order books. There are videos on Bookmap, Bookmap to me is probably the best heat map available out there. And if you're like a scalper or a swing trader or more like a day trader, Bookmap is amazing. The rest I would Google it and check it out. A lot of these crypto stuff I learned on my own. It's not too hard, but as you get into more specific areas like order flow and things like that, it might be more difficult to find more content or material about it because it's so specific. But usually companies publish what is called academies, and that may help you too. Drone war is no fun. This will escalate very hard. Yeah, probably. It's I think it's gonna get pretty messy over there, and it may not be isolated in just Ukraine. It's already tough for those people over there, but it could spread out rather quickly, like it did in World War II. Most of you probably have never been in a war. I mean, like actually in a war. Um, my family and I, we have been in a war, and it's scary. One time we were crossing a bridge. I was a little kid. I still have vivid memories. We were crossing a bridge, and as we were crossing the bridge, they were trying to shell the bridge to bomb it, to knock it out. And as we were crossing, I could hear and see bombs behind us. We were in a Jeep. That's scary. I hope none of you will ever have to see that side of humanity. You're welcome, Genesis. Um, for those of for Genesis, a lot of tech companies, tend to make good tech products, but they suck at putting out documentation or how to content to use their products. It's just the nature of the tech industry. It's unfortunate, though. I think something you guys might want to see, might be interesting for you to see, would be let's go to actually that's not what I want. Let's go load up the liquidation levels. Oh no. Go to the liquidation levels. You can see what has happened. So as you know, currently the short position is like roughly, and this is liquidation level, not not just, there's always one short for every long. So currently we have negative $5.8 billion on high leverage, 25x to 100x difference between shorts and long liquidation level. So you can see the price moving down here, liquidated the longs down here. There weren't that many left. So all these guys building up here. You notice this thing, it grew some, but it didn't grow a lot. You can see that because even the high leverage people are scared right now, and rightfully so. Yeah, they liquidated a bunch of longs here, um, but all these right here on the way up. This is a matter of when. It's a matter of when. When this crash goes all the way down and then it bounces back up, these people will get liquidated. Yeah, Dan, be careful. I hope you're not long in on leverage because, um, yeah, be careful if you're doing using leverage at this time. When you're doing leverage, timing is crucial. Genesis, I'm sorry your family went through that, and I hope they all left okay. And yeah, it's horrific. Well, Dan, I wish you luck, buddy. Bitcoin seems to be stabilizing right in this area right here at around 35K. We go back and look at the chart here. Where's my chart? Yeah, this 35K zone, it's one of the support levels that I drew in. It's got decent. It's got decent. It's decent size volume, traded volume in the past, but not a lot. But yeah, if it breaks through this support level here and stays below, it'll probably go down pretty hard. So one of you is holding long and one of you is holding short. You are brave souls. I'm curious, Genesis and Dan, what leverage levels are you guys using? 4x is not bad. 10x, huh? Genesis. That's a bit high, but you're not as high as some of these people doing 25 to 100x. Okay, 3x. 3x is not bad. I think don't risk any more than I think I think what's going to happen when the U.S. market opens, because of the positive correlation to the equities market, S&P 500 and Nasdaq. There's a strong possibility that if they hold positions in crypto, they might dump it. Yeah, they might dump that first. Yeah, so possibility. I think 30. We dropped below 35. So yeah, I could see we could easily go to like 30, 33, 33, 32. That reminds me. Let me load up. Let me load up the see how the market in Asia is doing. Here's Asia. Oh my gosh. Look at this. The Dixie. The Dixie is just like shooting up like a rocket. Look at that. As if you follow my videos, has a negative correlation to Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin dropping. Look at the Dixie rising. That is nuts. Look at that. Wow. Over here in the Australian market, they're tanking. This is Nikkei. They're tanking. This South Korean index, KOSPI, they're tanking. And this one is the Hang Seng out of Hong Kong, tanking. This is U.S. market today. Obviously, we're closed right now, but tomorrow I expect it to tank like this, like further, like take this and just draw it straight down. And Dixie's gonna probably go up higher. Am I from Thailand? No, I'm not. I know my last name is Thai, but some people who think I'm from Thailand. I'm not. I'm originally from Vietnam. Well, Genesis, congratulations if you're meeting your target. It can be challenging, but good for you. You make sure you set aside your profit and don't touch it. You know, if you make money, set aside the original so that you will never be in the negative, and that can be tough for some people to do. But just a reminder. Genesis is only $1,000 though, as I'm very new to futures trading. Yeah, You know, I think it's good that you're limiting your budget as far as how you're trading. Just be mindful that a lot of people get hooked into it, and that small amount can go up pretty fast. So just be careful. Oh, we're down to 34.7. And then for sure, yeah, I think volatile is an understatement for crypto. Yeah, Genesis. I'm glad you're taking your learning and implementing that learning this time around. Zayden, I would stick top 50 coin. I go with a handful, buddy. Um, I go with the ones I've mentioned before. You can't go wrong with Bitcoin, obviously. You can't go wrong with Ethereum. I would put my money heavy in Luna, Bitcoin, um, AVAX, FTM, Atom. But I would lean heavy on Luna. That thing is crazy, man. I can't wait to see how that thing's gonna go up when we have the rally. I get you, Genesis. I get it. I get everything. Yep, I got you. Where are you guys from? I'm curious. We have 6 people in the live chat, in the live stream. I'm from the West Coast in the United States. Deutsch. Very cool. Dan, you must speak like at least 3 languages, huh? My ex girlfriend was from Belgium and she spoke like 4 or 5 different languages. Michael from Chicago. Man, I miss Chicago. Not in the winter though. I grew up in Minneapolis and we would hop in a car and drive to Chicago. My girlfriend then and we would just go to Chicago, hang out for a weekend by the lake, and eat lots of food. Good times. Wow, that is so cool. The Himalayas, Sikkim. Man, that would be so cool to visit that area. Sweden. I had a, one of my high school friend was from Sweden. He was a foreign exchange student, Oscar. Such a cool dude. It's so amazing to be able to connect with people from all over the world and have a common hobby or a common goal. It's so cool. So Dan speaks Dutch, German, English. That's three, and fluent in all three. Yeah, it's so cool that like the European countries, people from over there, they're multilingual. It's so cool. I used to be able to speak French pretty well, but not anymore. It's been so long. Now I'm only duolingual. Sorry, I just touched the microphone. Hope that didn't make a bunch of noise. What other questions do you guys have for me about crypto or investments or equities or business? It's my jam. Business is my jam too. Oops, sorry. Um, gold. You know, I can understand why someone would hedge with gold. I think it's gonna, in times of like this during wartime, gold can be a hedge. I personally wouldn't hold it. I know some people do, and that's cool, but I wouldn't. Yeah, it could hit an all time high for sure. It still wouldn't influence me to buy it though. Zayden asks, do you use special strategies for trading or just casual stuff like support and resistance? I'm not sure if it's special, but I use a lot of data, um, and I do a lot of data and a lot of research, and I read a lot about macro and micro environment news. So I gather a lot of inputs, and then I make decisions. Some people just use predominantly on-chain technical analysis. I show a lot of that stuff, but outside of that, I spend more time actually studying and doing research. And that's why when a lot of crypto Twitter influencers, if you will, they were calling for the rallies, or like bottoms came in at 41, or like recently when we went up again, they were calling in. They said we're gonna go back up again. I what I saw was not what they saw, so I stuck with it. I just kept telling people that prepare for the bottom, because um, even though the charts may say one thing, but you got to use your brain. You got to use your brain and take a look at the different elements out there in the macro and see, okay, what are the probabilities of these events happening? Or if you got to, it's like playing chess. Almost, it's like playing chess. You got to be like multiple moves ahead. If I could only use one trading indicator, what would that be? Um, I wouldn't trade. So, yeah, I wouldn't trade with just one indicator. I would be out. Man, I'm gonna butcher your name here. And Ancap Skim. I hope I got that right. What are the chances SPX pumps instead of dump? There's always a chance. I wouldn't bet on it. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on SPX pumping. No way. No way. Do you have a favorite page? No, I don't have a favorite page where I do research. I just read all kind of news. I read a lot of news, trade news. I read a lot of like I know a lot. Some people laugh at mainstream media, but I read mainstream media too because it gives me a sense of what people are reading and people are taking in, to for me to gauge what the mass may be wanting or feeling. Um, I don't follow a lot of Twitter people, and so yeah, I just stick to my own research. Uh, Naveen, what are my thoughts on the state of DeFi right now and where it's going? Naveen, I'm not sure if you knew, but my background is in traditional finance. I was an executive for a major bank. I think DeFi has a huge, bright future. Um, the major risk I see for DeFi would be regulation, because it is already threatening traditional banking institutions, and so they're gonna fight. Um, they're gonna fight to put a lot of unfavorable regulations for DeFi because it's a risk for their business. But I have a huge. I'm bullish on DeFi. Uh, ask Ancam Skim, what's my age? Well, I'm old enough to drink, and I'm still young enough to have fun. Naveen, yeah, I know. So thought you'd be the right person to ask. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Crypto Twitter is kindergarten scams, pumps and dumps, and emotional actions. I think there are some really good, knowledgeable people on Twitter in specific areas, and but I think there's a lot of noise too, so it can be difficult to filter out some of that noise and focus on the quality stuff. Bitcoin's just dropped a little bit more down to 34.6. Dan says they're building a passive income generate arbitrage trading engine. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, like the opportunities in crypto for arbitrage is huge. I mean, like you can just make a little bit of money here and there, but cumulative over, hours every day, it's a lot of money. The market is so young to leverage arbitrage. It's fantastic. Genesis says majority of crypto Twitter equals place where moon boys get their attention and people actually providing useful information are ignored. I think looking at some of the crypto influencers with like hundreds of thousands of followers, yeah, and looking at their tweets and what they tweet about, yeah, it's no wonder why so many people get wrecked. Yeah, Dan. Basically, yeah, DeFi. I mean, like the yields that when I was at the bank and we pay people 0.001% for their money. That's if they're lucky, and compared to what people are earning in with DeFi right now, helping people be their own bank is a phenomenal opportunity. I love it. I love DeFi. There are some projects in DeFi that is, offering ridiculous amount of APYs, and eventually people get wrecked in those projects. I think that's concerning for me because it gives DeFi a bad name. I think regulation on DeFi. I'm not sure what you mean by soon, but I think it's coming. It's not. It's a matter of when. Um, yeah, Anchor Protocol is phenomenal. I think Anchor and Luna, phenomenal projects. And CapSkim is thinking about shorting 35.5 if we get there. I mean, today's drop might send BTC to 33. Um, I think timing is it's a matter of timing. I think right now, let's see what time is it. It's 11 almost 11:30 Pacific Standard Time, and so you're gonna Asia's gonna wake up. I think no, they're up already. So most of the U.S. is probably going to bed, but yeah, I think we're going to into the low 30s. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna go into the low 30s. Zayden, anytime people want to ban something, it's usually because they feel threatened. And I can guarantee you, um, traditional financial institutions, unless they are adopting, even if they are adopting, they're still um, going to be feel threatened. And so that's why you see all these talk about banning crypto and all that stuff. But you know what? There's a point in time when you can't ban stuff because the adoption is so it's grown so fast, and also when the people who are voting for people into office and they demand it, yeah, good luck banning it. I personally will not vote for anybody who is against crypto. I don't care whether they're liberal or conservative. I really don't care. I think empowering people and making sure that we have separation of money and state or government is critical. Critical for people, and all this talk about central bank digital currency. That's there. That's more about control. Imagine if you owe taxes, or you got a fine on something and you haven't had a chance to fight it yet. Imagine they're with CBDC, they can literally take that from money from you. So yeah, fight for crypto, but fight for Bitcoin. I would totally be against a CBDC, although I don't think we have a choice in that matter. Amy, hi Amy. What do I think about options expiry at 40K? Well, um, if you're speaking about Max Payne, well, Max Payne, I don't think there was Max Payne had war um, and anxiety priced in at 40K. So, nah, 40K is not going to happen. I, when you take a look at different elements or different indicators, it's important to weigh them. Weigh them depending on the situations. Like if, for example, if the macro environment is having a more impact on the market, then you got to weigh the macro environment more, or indicators that measure macro environments. Some people make the mistake of using TA and connecting that back to 1970s gold or 2014 Bitcoin patterns and all that stuff, and they don't really think about the macro environment. I mean, like, they're going to give you the wrong advice. In a market where it's bullish and Bitcoin is just going up and rallying, yeah, whatever they say is going to be true. So you can't. It's hard to be wrong when it's a bullish market. But in a challenging market like this, I think you can see who has really good knowledge about not just being analytical or being able to analyze data, but who has a well-rounded perspective not about analysis and also macro environments, because those factors matter. So, for example, when I was tracking the Max Payne price, and I noticed that we had a 80% plus accuracy on Max Payne. But if you look at the environment factors, during a non-volatile macro environment, sure, that could happen. But, eventually I was like, nah, that indicator is only good for that period of time. So I can't use that all the time. So I put less weight on the Max Payne price, for example. And Capskim, what is NPOC? I am so bad at acronyms. Point of control. I have no idea what naked point of control is. And then I take a small loss over a big loss and make it up somewhere else. We're down at 34.5 now. Oh, well, actually 34.6. Moscow stock market down 14%. I don't even track I don't even track the stock market in Russia. They at 3% contribution to the global GDP, and they're not even worth tracking for me. But I can see why it's important to track what's happening in their economy during wartime, especially if they're starting war and they're getting sanctions. And then I use volume profile, but I've never seen NOPC. But there's so many different acronyms. I feel for the people in Russia who didn't want war and they get dragged into this, and they're gonna face the repercussion of sanctions. I feel for those people. You have one lunatic and a bunch of wealthy oligarchs, and they're impacting a lot of other people's lives. Here's Bitcoin sell off. Going down towards the lower end of 34K. Zayden, I've been asked about XPR before, and I know there's a lot of people who are loyal XPR evangelists. I'm trying to follow here. For me personally, Zayden, I would never touch XPR. And if people want to hold it, I think that's cool. That's cool for them, but I would never touch it. I don't care what the probability of it going to 20 or 30K or whatever. And the reason I wouldn't hold XPR is because what I've learned in my professional life and my investment time is this. When I invest in a project, for example, I invest in Tesla. Some of you know that I invest in Tesla early on. And the reason I invest in Tesla is because not only because of the technology, that was secondary, but because of Elon Musk. Although he's not a true founder, when he stepped into that project, there was a high degree of probability of success. And so when I invest in a project, I look at the people involved, and Amazon, for example, with Bezos, awesome. You got Bill Gates at Microsoft. You got Steve Jobs at Apple. Like, I invest in people, and when a project has questionable leadership, I become very shy of it. Dan, I appreciate the clarification on NPOC. I'll probably need to read up on it some more, and because that's how I look at things. I read it, I study it, and I dissect it to death, and then then I feel comfortable about it. I wonder if you mean Dan. I think I know what you're talking about. But I don't. What I'm familiar with, it's not called NPOC. It's called something else. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'll look that up. But I mentioned. Let me pull it up and see if I. I think we're talking about the same thing, but I don't think I know it by the same name. Here, I'll show you. So this chart right here, let me go in and show you what I'm talking about. I don't think this is what. No. Yeah, it's in here somewhere, but I think I know what you're talking about. I'll find it later. Yeah, if you're sick to your stomach, I'm so sorry. I think it's yeah, it's challenging times for sure. Yep. This is where wealth is built, but if you're out of money and you're upside down, it can feel pretty challenging. How do you connect your treasure to Macs, guys? I don't have a Mac, so I don't know the answer to that. Hopefully someone else does. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Yeah, when you need to dump some coin and you can't connect your treasure, that sucks, man. If you look at some of the sell orders here, you get the biggest bubble here is roughly about upper 50s, and you get these tiny little bubbles here. These are pretty organic right here. This cascade of sell, these are organic. But wait until you see like the big giant bubbles come in and they cascade down or up. Yeah, that will be something. We haven't seen that yet, but they're coming. And Capskim, are you able to use a different computer to connect to your Trezor? Here's a spoof wall. Look at that spoof wall. It moved out of the way as soon as the price dropped. Right there. Oh man, I'm sorry. That's tough. It's a spoof wall right here trying to prevent price from going up. They're going to try to suppress it down. During volatile time like this, you could just totally trade in the range right here. You can just literally sit here and watch this. Price goes up, push against the wall, it'll drop down, and then you wait till the price come in, and then you buy it, wait for it to go up, and just trade in the range. Luna is still stuck at $51. Wait a minute. $51.71. That's just crazy. I'll show you guys. Right here, $51.87. That's where Luna is sitting. Here are the levels that I have Luna at. 40.10, 35.10, 30.10, 23.10, 12.50. Oh man. To be able to get Luna down in this area, that's gonna be amazing when it rises back up again. How likely are we to squeeze shorts? I think in the near term, unlikely, because we're still dealing with the pressure of war, and so more than likely, in situations like this, more than likely price will be forced to go down. As far as rising up this way, once this the pressure of war settles a little bit, and it has time to take a breather, then you can think about price moving back up to liquidate the shorts. Luna at $20. That's phenomenal. Congrats. Got back in long, luckily at below 35. Oh, we get some bigger bubbles coming in here. That one was 110. Yep. Here's some big buy orders. It'll come up. Wait until show you something. See this wall right here trying to push price up right there? There's barely a wall up here, but as soon it comes in. So right now, see right now I would go long until a wall pop in here to force price down. So I go long right here, and then later when the wall pops in, I go short and just trade the range all. No, Dan, these bubbles here, the red bubbles are sell orders, and the green bubbles are the buy orders, and those are filled orders. The larger the order, the larger the bubbles, the bigger the sizes. Zayden, I appreciate the recommendation, but I can barely handle the less than 10 coins that I have. I'm pretty much a minimalist when it comes to holding um, how many coins I hold. Um, Oli asks, or Oli, sorry if I am pronouncing your name incorrectly. If BT is a hedge against traditional markets, why does it trend so violently? Isn't it supposed to be like gold and sanctuary during war, etc.? Um, Oli, that depends on who you ask. In my opinion, I think Bitcoin might someday be that hedge, but I don't think we're there yet. And I know Bitcoin maxis will swear up and down that it is the best thing in the world. I am long on Bitcoin. However, I'm also realistic because it's still a risk on asset, meaning that when the environment, the market gets riskier, the most investors who are traditional will dump Bitcoin first, or one of the first assets they'll dump because it's a risk on asset. Limit these the orders that get these walls right here. These are limit orders, um, and these are the filled orders. So I'm not sure if you're asking if these bubbles are limit orders or market orders. They don't say, but based on what I know, I think they're probably limit orders. They could be market too. I'm not sure. I'll look into that though. And also, Oli, when something is still growing and being adopted, it's always going to be um, what's the word? It's always going to be volatile. That happens in any kind of new market or new technology. And Genesis, I'm not sure what you mean by could be shorts closing. Look at this wall coming in, trying to prop it up. Oh, here's another one. 129. Here comes the downward pressure. Well, these bubbles, if you like, for let me zoom in. When you zoom in, you can see finer details of these bubbles. So when you zoom out, they kind of combine the bubbles together. So yeah, so if you zoom in, you can see tinier ones here. Yeah, so it depends on your zoom level. They could change. I believe the bubbles are filled. They're for sure filled orders, but they could be both limit and market orders that are filled. That's to my understanding. But like I said, I'll verify that. And also, not just these lines, but you can see like fine details. I'll zoom in here. At least on the heat map, you can see tiny little pixels here. These are all limit orders, and these are orders that are on the order books. Like every little pixel, and these are just bigger ones. These are filled, but these other ones are like pending. They are in the order books. Yeah, heat maps. This heat map is phenomenal for scalpers. You can trade within like minute time frame too. For example, you can go to and change the time frame and change it down to 10 seconds. It'll move really fast, like this. Yeah, this is really hard to trade. But yes, you can do even this. Wow, we're up to 12 people watching now. Woohoo! You guys do me a favor, smash that like. Smash it. Make YouTube happy. Um, I haven't done a YouTube video for scalping using heat map, but I'm not sure if there is one out there. Hmm, maybe. I'm so I could barely finish the stuff I have now, but in the future, when I have time, I'll consider it. Zayden, not all walls disappear. Only the spoof walls they disappear. But you can use some of these levels here. You know, some of these levels they actually stay. Like some of these levels are real, and so you can use that. Oli asks, "What do I think will happen if El Salvador, in El Salvador, if BTC dropped to say 30K or 20K, and large holders like MicroStrategy would they sell and cause a cascade to 12?" I don't think so. MicroStrategy will, instead of sell, they'll buy more. At least that's what I would do if I was Michael Saylor. I would just accumulating. I would just accumulate. In fact, I'm sure he's accumulating, um, because it doesn't make sense for him to sell because there's more upside when you buy. Um, so yeah, as far as El Salvador is concerned, I think they'll buy more because the downturn, the crash, is temporary, but long term, the upside is huge. Think about this. We're at 35K right now, let's say, right? So let's say we drop to 12K. I don't think we're going to go to 12K, but let's just say we drop to 12K. Let's just make it 10. So that's a drop of 25K, right? So I lose 25K. But if I keep it and I buy more, my upside from 35K to 100K is what? 65K. So already I win, just keeping it. I mean, let's just say that it doesn't make it to 100K, which that's not even realistic. It will get there. It's a matter of when. But let's just say we already know that it goes back to 70. From 35K to 70, that's 35K. I still win. My potential loss is 25K. My potential gain is 35K. I'm up 10K. Michael Saylor is a very, very smart man, way ahead of his time. And he'll figure out a way to get more money for Bitcoin. I think I think one day when people look back at the history of Bitcoin, he'll be one to remember. I'm doing a Bitcoin presentation in March for about 14 countries, and I'm looking forward to that because there'll be an opportunity to help more central banks understand about crypto and Bitcoin and all that stuff. So, really looking forward to that. I'll record that for you guys, and we'll share it if they allow me to. They should be able to. Hang on, I'm gonna get something to drink. Cheers. This is almond milk. Looks like Bitcoin is holding steady at around 35. Oh, New Zealand. That's fantastic. That's one island I haven't visited. Would love to visit there. Taha Ahmed, sold by entries. I believe I shared that on Twitter, and also I have a video on it. I think I think I did that. And as far as Matic, I haven't updated my entries yet. I have about 9 coins. I only had time to do 2. They take a bit of time, and so I've only been able to update 2 so far. I only did Solana and Luna. So Matic should be coming soon. Hopefully, while we're still in this crash, you guys can get it in the low price ranges. Hey, Zayden, you know, I think it's more important to invest in our health than it is to invest in our money. I think that money's important, but if we don't have our health, money doesn't won't mean much. I'm looking at the charts for the Asian market. They're still tanking. Crazy. Also, Zayden, when you do what you love in life, it's never work. Ooh, look at Bitcoin climbing a little bit. That's pretty cool. Oli, how's the real estate in New Zealand? I heard a lot of wealthy people started buying up land and houses over there. Oops, sorry. Oil, it's currently at $97.39. I think it broke $100 earlier. That's crazy. Um, Gold is up 1.85%. Silver is up 2.32%. Yeah, Oli, prices are crazy in many places. I think there's a strong possibility that we might have um, a correction in the real estate market. I think that bubble may burst. If there was a world war, New Zealand is probably one of the safer places to be. Oh, look at Bitcoin climbing back up right there. You get cascading bubbles here. Though they're small though, 43, 36. But yeah, it's cascading up, cascading up. Zayden, you're not the only one, man, who I'm not even sure if you're a man or woman, but you're not the only one who studied for 5 years in something and find out that you would rather do something else, and that's okay. Lean into what you enjoy and figure out how to make money and enjoy doing it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, fun is part of it, but I can tell you that um, there are ways to make money in Bitcoin more so than in a normal job, and you find your way there. Wow, holy, that's crazy! Double in 4 years. Yeah, it's in the U.S. too. We have crazy prices over here, like houses around my neighborhood. Price a house would go up and it'd be sold within a week. And so one of my friends. She's been trying to find a house, buy a house, and she gets outbid all the time, even though she offers cash. It's ridiculous. Zayden, most people don't know this, but well, actually, I don't know if they know it or not, but they probably don't. But if people invest the amount of money they pay for schooling, excuse me, unless it's you gotta like scholarships and all that stuff. But if people actually pay for the education and they took that money, let's say 10 years ago, let's say people instead of paying, 50,000 to $100,000 for college. I think I have a piece of almond in my throat. But yeah, if they put that 50,000 or 100,000 that they pay for college toward Bitcoin 10 years ago, they'd be like so well off they wouldn't even need to work right now. And for the people who buy diamond rings or engagement rings and all that stuff, I mean, like if you think about this, in 2012, if you spend $5,000 on an engagement ring, and that you give that amount of money, $5,000 in Bitcoin in 2012, to your fiance or wife, she would be, or he would be like a multi-millionaire right now, like by many folds. It's okay, Zayden. You know, you're 18. You're 18 years old. You it's all right. You're young. You were young. We do stupid things. Like I try to get my daughter to invest in Bitcoin, crypto. She just wouldn't. So eventually, I gave all her gifts in crypto. Yep, everything. And she would complain. She would say, "Dad, why don't you give me like gifts? I like gifts, actual gifts. So when I look at them, I think of you." I said, "Well, later on, when you when you see your crypto returns, you think of me even more." Oh man, Bitcoin for Counter Strike and Ghost. Oh, oh. Hey, you know what? Live without regrets. We do stuff, we learn from it, we move forward, we make better decisions. Oli, going by that strategy, what do you invest $10,000 in today to chill like a mil by 2030? I would definitely go heavy on Bitcoin. Um, the reason is because Bitcoin is supply is so limited, and the more the more long-term holders hang on to their coins, the less supply that will be in the market, and eventually it'll reach a point where there's so limited amount of supply and the demand is high, price is going to skyrocket, and it's hard to say that about other coins. Yeah, I go heavy on Bitcoin if I'm investing for the long haul. In fact, um, when I take profit, I take profit in Bitcoin, unless it's one of my experimental portfolios. But yeah, I take profit, dump it back in Bitcoin, and just let it grow. Because limited supply, every time you get some satoshis, you're limiting the supply in the market, and unless you spend it. The Hang Seng market is just diving so hard. Let me show you guys. Crazy. Yeah, this is Hang Seng, the Hong Kong market. Look at that dive. In fact, Australia, Nikkei index. This is South Korean KOSPI, just diving. With the Dixie consolidating up at the top here, Bitcoin's able to rise. But watch when Dixie rises again, Bitcoin's gonna drop. Excuse me. Here are the levels here: 33.5, the big levels, 32, roughly around 31 here, and 30. Let's see what we got below. I'm so shocked that 28.5 or 29 is not in yet. I'm I'm surprised. I think 30K, we'll see. 30K is the biggest wall we have right now, and but we'll see. We'll see what kind of what the next moves are as far as the West, and what and how Russia will react. Yeah, I have orders down to the mid 20s, and for me, whether it gets filled or not, it doesn't really matter for me. You know, I don't worry too much about it. I just put my entry prices in and just wait. If they don't get filled, I just have extra dry powder for next time. See, that's the thing, Alejandro. That's the thing about what people expect. What people expect and what is on the order books are two different things. So I rather verify what people expect with actual data, and then going by what they think. For sure, yeah, Zayden, yeah, for sure. If there's a huge wick, um, that could happen. That's why I just set my orders in, at the various levels and just not worry about it. I think if you have cash on the side right now, that's pretty cool. I think that's really, really cool. You know what I think? I think when Bitcoin breaks this wall right here at 33.5, the 29K wall and the 28K wall will grow. Here's the 29K wall. It's faint, but it's there. I'll zoom in for you. Right there, here's the 29. It's thin, 168 in size, 28K, it's 191, 94 roughly, I think. So it's there and it's growing, but when we crush the other walls up above, these walls will get thicker. Wait a minute, Dan. You taking a long on um, on using perps, right? So I'm not. I may not be following Dan, but if you taking leverage on and a long leverage on Solana with price dropping, isn't that risky? Or am I missing something? Zayden, do I expect a fast rebound, or will it take a few days, like in March? In March, we actually took a couple weeks. So March 2020, yeah, March 2020, we took a couple weeks to rebound. I think it depends on the macro. It depends on what happens in Ukraine and how the West and Russia will be able to work things out. It's dependent on that. I wouldn't be able to guess unless as we until we go further into it. So here's March 2020. Here's February. Here's March. Here's the crash right there. So we had three, this is the end of February on the week of the 24th. So we had 3 weeks of red candles, and then we climbed back up. I think this time it might be a little different, because war is different than COVID. This my weekly chart has still had a bear on it. We got a couple new people watching. If you're new, feel free to say hi. And if you're comfortable, share where you are about, like city or country. That'd be kind of cool, just to see where people are coming from. I have no idea how to look that up. And if you haven't smashed the like or thumbs up yet, feel free to smash that. Ooh, Luna had a wick down? Wait a minute. What happened? Wow. Luna had a wick down. Oh, it wicked down to the 200-day moving average. I gotta show you guys this. This is pretty cool. Hang on. I'll prep it and I'll share it. Look at this. Oh, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. So here's Luna wick down. Here's the 200-day move. Let me get the mouse highlighter on so you can see what I'm pointing at. So here's the red line, 200-day moving average, and here's that wick down just past the 200-day moving average. So that, I think it came in roughly around 50. Oh yeah. Yep, $50.40 wick down to here. It's still not where it was before. The low before recently was 43, which is around here. So yeah, it hit the support at 200-day moving average, bounced back up here. My targets are way lower than 43. So we got some work to do here. Bitcoin is still hanging at around 35.5 in the 35K zone. Zoom in and take a look at these guys here. Here's the liquidation levels. Price is currently right here. These got liquidated. The little bubbles with the line that just got cut off. Well, they just changed it. But see here. We got some shorts got liquidated right here. I'm not sure you can see that. Let me see if we can magnify that up for you. Oh, there it is. You can see right here, that little chunk right there. I have no idea how to reset this magnification. There it is. Yeah, that little chunk that got taken off, that was the short that got liquidated when price went up to 35.5, went back up. I'm surprised I don't see some of the regulars from when I streamed the last few times. Some of them were up so late. Hey, all these. Good day. It's cold here, man. It's brutal. It's below freezing right now in the West Coast, at least where I am. We in the if you're in the United States, we have a cold front that's moving through the U.S. and it's we have much lower temperatures than usual. I'm curious how you all are feeling about Russia and their aggression against Ukraine. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think for me, I think Putin, I think his reign in power is nearing the tail end of his career, and so he probably wants to be remembered for having done something outside of poisoning people and imprisoning oppositions, and so I think he wants to leave a legacy. Yeah, he does seem desperate for sure. I don't think he'll be remembered very well though, and I also think he has an ego that he's trying to fulfill. I think he still lives in the past, in the glory days of USSR. All these, I think, the yeah, for sure, the his buddies, the I can never pronounce that, oligarchs, they're for sure helping him. But I think in the long run, when their pockets are being hurt through sanctions and such, sooner or later, I think they'll come up with a solution that will help Putin make things right. But who knows? I think sooner or later, I think if a person is crazy, I think very few things will deter them. So hopefully, he still has some capability to reason still. Less adventures. I think he does care. I think he does care how he's remembered. Um, he's From what I have seen of him. I don't know for sure, but he seems very vain. I think he's very much about how he looks to other people. So I think he does care. Um, Dex coins I would recommend. Um, no, from where I stand, I look at how things perform. So, like for example, if I'm to hold, let's say 10 coins, if I'm gonna replace a coin, it's got to be able to run faster and have better risk reward than my 10 coins. And so I don't see a Dex coin that can outrun the the coins I have. So at least not the ones I've looked at. So I don't have a recommendation for you. Sorry. Um, I don't have 10 coins. I just use that as a figure. I have less than 10 coins. Um, they are um, Bitcoin. It's really late right here, so I'll do my best to remember them. Um, it's almost 1 a.m. here. The Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Luna, FTM, Matic, AVAX. That's about what I can remember right now. I'm not even sure how many that is, but I don't have a lot. All these, I'm not sure what they mean by supply native units and not. Hey, seven. Very cool. Yeah, I don't have a lot. Like when I replace a coin, the one I replace it with, it's got to be able to have better risk reward and also give me better return because it doesn't make sense for me to replace it. Bitcoin doesn't always have the best return, but I keep it because it's a hedge. It's a hedge in situations like this. When there's a crash, I feel safer with Bitcoin. We have 13 people now, and I have no idea who the new people are. Feel free to say hi. Zayden said, Sailor said, diversification is selling winner to buy the losers. I think there's cases to be made about. There's also, I know people who have done really well investing in like 30 coins. I don't know how they do it, but they manage to do it. I think what they do is they invest in a lot of altcoins. They have high potential. So, for example, let's say your 10% of your coin like go uh, like crazy and make you a bunch of return that offsets the 20 that you lose on. That may work for some people, but I wouldn't go that way. And the risk reward for me just it's not a ratio that I can work with. I think as long as Ethereum is struggling to get their uh, Ethereum 2.0, whatever they happen to be calling it right now, as long as they struggle, I think Matic is a phenomenal um, coin to hold. And even after, their ecosystem has grown so much. Hi, uh, Geister, Hebel, and hello to Mohammed Bila. So sorry, I'm so bad at names. Um, Bila from Italy. Hey, that's where I get my motorcycle gear. I would love to ride my motorcycle around the twisties in Italy. That'd be so fun. Yeah, if you relocate your Matic to Luna, I mean it's not a bad move. Am I the? I think there was one other person who was on from Chicago. I think we were the only two from the U.S. at this hour. It's almost 1 a.m. The rest of you are like across the pond, the ocean. Hi, live bot. Welcome. Oh, that's very kind of you. I might look to you guys in the future. I have a company, and when I expand, I would love to visit and let you guys know where what part of the world I'm coming to, and would be really cool to meet up for lunch or coffee or something. Well, not coffee, because if I have any caffeine in my body, I I get all like too excited and full of energy, so not always a good thing. But yeah, I would love to meet up with people and hang out and chill out, talk about crypto, have some good food. When you see consolidation like this around a certain level for a bit of time, sooner or later it'll break to the upside or downside. In this case, the probability is to the downside. So probably after I go to sleep, something will happen. Bila, what do I think about Ada? You may not like my answer. The I've mentioned this before. I used to hold Ada, like a large bag of Ada. In fact, Ada was my biggest bag. Um, but when I looked at the leadership and what was happening at the leadership level, yeah, I just lost faith in the project. I think they have some really interesting technology, but I think the leadership is not as effective as it can be. So I pretty much dumped all my ADA um, near the all-time high and never looked back. I did buy it back into it for a little bit, and then I sold it right after because it wasn't going anywhere. Some people are very adamant about keeping a certain coin because they believe in it. I think that's a good thing in some ways, but for me, time is money, and if a coin is not making me money, why should I hold on to it? I just replaced it, and so I'm thankful I replaced it. Dan, are you talking about S&P futures? Because the market is closed right now for S&P. And ADA, I think it's Last summer it was at $1 as its low. I believe it might have gone a couple cents lower, but now it's like, gosh, I don't even know what it is. It's like 78 cents the last time I looked at it. So yeah, I feel so sad for all the ADA holders. I mean, breaking below $1, that's scary. The dollar was a critical support level. I'm gonna look ADA up. Once in a while, not once in a while, when we have a major news event like Russia, officially attacking Ukraine, you know, the market becomes volatile really fast, and then it eventually finds its comfortable level. And it seems like Bitcoin's comfortable level right now is around 35, between 35 and 35, between 35 and 36 is what I would think. So that's its comfort level right now. It'll be interesting to see what happens when the markets open tomorrow. Yeah, ADA is actually holding pretty well. It's at 78 cents. Well, I don't know how much more it can drop, but yeah, it hasn't dropped much since the announcement today. So the joke goes on about ADA being a stable coin. That still holds. I'm gonna wrap up this live stream in about 7 minutes, so I can go to bed. It'll be 1 o'clock a.m. at that time. So I appreciate you all for joining. Feel free to ask any other questions in the next 6 minutes or so. I'd be happy to answer them. I should really do this live streaming stuff more scheduled. And Killeen, um, I think I mean, like the price right now is pretty decent. I would layer in. Like right now is a good price. You can layer in a small amount right now. Let's say you have a budget. Let's just say like yeah. Let's say you have a budget. You can layer in now, or go to like roughly around. Let me shrink this down for a second. For Bitcoin, at least, we know it can touch 34.5, right? So, you can set an entry point for Bitcoin, let's say at 34.5, at 10% of your budget. Then go a little bit lower. Use some of the levels that I published. Whoa! Look at the walls now. Yeah, okay. So let me zoom out a little bit. Look at some of the walls that got thicker. See the difference? Yeah, they got thicker at right there. So you can layer in at roughly 34, 10% at 30, 34.5, and then layer in some more percentage at these critical levels, and then go like layer in like 50% at around 30,100 or so, and save some money for if it crashes below. So I would layer it in slowly and keep more percentages of your budget towards these critical levels down here. All these is ADA your biggest disappointment token that you thought is worth investing long term? And there's other one. To me, it's not a disappointment really. It was a decision, you know. I made money off of it, so there's no disappointment there. Really, it's about like I don't get emotional about my coins because except ADA, I did get a little emotional about it, not because of anything. It was because I really thought they had respectable goals, you know, helping third world countries and all that stuff. But business wise, I think there are better coins out there to hold. And, you know, luckily I was right in that decision. Sold it at the near the all-time high and traded in for something else. And then ever since it dropped. So, no regrets there. Another coin that I regret was I remember watching a YouTube one of the person that I respect their analysis on, and I won't say the name, but they were like the AVAX would the people who had invested early on in AVAX, their date was coming due for them to be able to sell. And this person said, they think they're highly likely going to sell. So I got rid of AVAX at around, gosh, I forget what it was, like 30 something maybe. A big chunk of it at 30 something. And then right after that, it shot up to like what? Was it over 100 at that time? Yeah, so after that, I learned to listen to my own instincts instead. So that was a fun experience. Um, Billa, I could do a video on it, but like I don't hold any of those coins, and so I would need to do a lot of research into it. The coins that I do hold, I know a lot about them. So I could definitely do a video on it when the time comes. Right now I'm pretty booked, but I'll keep that in mind. How's that? Oh, I remember another good story. Um, One of the coins that I used to hold was it was a DeFi Aave. I used to hold that one. I thought it was like gonna be like phenomenal. It moved nowhere, and so I sold it. Yeah, one of the biggest lesson I learned about crypto is this is simply that, like, have the best coins from a risk reward, minimal amount of best coins from a risk reward perspective, and make sure that they run fast. And if they don't, replace them. Um, yeah, and that has helped a lot. So all these with AVAX at a cheap price. Remember, we're speaking hindsight here. At that time, AVAX was going up slowly. It wasn't skyrocketing yet. And so I really thought that this person had, a strong point about potentially being sold. So I liquidated my AVAX at that price. I did re-enter it later on though, but I wish I would have kept it and hung on to it. So, but good lesson to learn. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please smash that like as it is 1 a.m. here in the West Coast of the United States of America. I appreciate you all joining. Feel free to leave a comment if you want. And it's been a good time. I've enjoyed it, and I hope it was enjoyable for you too. Thanks, and I'll tweet or see some of you in the videos tomorrow. Actually, today. All right, peace. Have a good night, good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening. Bye.